Okay, ladies, it's 2 o'clock, so I am going to turn this over to Brenda and Delaney. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was asked to maybe just do a refresher on open enrollment, or even if there's some new managers, just go through some of the steps with regard to open enrollment when you go into Green Shades. So the Green Shades website is, of course, the greenemployee.com. And when you log in, you want to use either your email or your phone number, and you're going to sign in. And then, of course, it's going to ask you to verify your identity. And you can either do that via your email, your text, or, sign in with your password. And then what it's going to do, it's going to give you a verification code. And then you log into Green Shades. And the home page is what you see right now. So it has the employee homepage, the HR profile at the top, your pay history, and the benefits and the documents. Also, you can see on the home page, there's also a company bulletin, and we do put messages out there. I put some updates out there with regard to a new benefit that we're having, and we also do different updates with regard to information that we want to get out to the employees. So, always be sure to check those company bulletins. But the two tabs that we're going to be mainly concerned with today is the benefits and the documents. But I'm going to show you here, there was a bulletin put out about the Vision Company. Anybody that is in or eligible or enrolled in the Vision, which is the Davis Vision Fashion Focus, it's going to be switched over to the Vision Benefits of America, and that's going to be effective 1/1, of course. Anybody that's in the benefit will just automatically be switched in, or if you wish to not be in it, then you'll have to go out and waive that benefit. But it is a new company that we're going to be dealing with next year. And it does have a richer plan. So the benefits are much better and the rates are a little bit cheaper. So I think it's cost effective for us to have switched to this new Vision Benefits plan. So the main page with regard to when you log on and you want to start doing your benefits, as I said before, you're going to want to be concerned with the benefits tab and the documents tab. So the benefits tab, it's going to show, and right now you're seeing everything that I am currently enrolled in. And you can see all that. There you go. As I say, could we make sure that we're all muted, please? And so the page that comes up when you're on the benefits page is all the benefits that you're enrolled in, or you'll see that you're eligible for when you come up and log in during open enrollment. And we do stress a lot with regard to where our documents are housed. So if you see under this tab, it says the document library, that's where all the benefit information will be housed. So the rates will be out there, anything on the vision, the dental, all the health insurances, the employee handbooks out there. So there's a lot of information under that document library, and you can refer to that when you're doing your open enrollment. So here's what the document library will look like when you go into it. And it has all these different documents, like I said, housed in that area. And when you click on it to view it, you're going to be able to call it up and download it and print it if needed, or you can just look at it as you need if you want to see the information. So here I went and I looked at 2025 health insurance rates. So for 2025, the health insurance rates, and I apologize, it's a little bit smaller than what I was anticipating, but all the rates are out there for the plans. The 3 plans that we offer, the gold, the silver, and the bronze. And we do offer the different tiers that go from individual clear down to family, and you'll see the different rates. And I will say that our rates came in really great this year. We only had a 4% increase, and most companies or employers, they come in at, I think, anywhere between 12 and 20% increase. So we did, get a great rate. Highmark was really good with regard to giving us these good rates. So I think the most that it may affect would be like a plan might increase like maybe $20 a pay or $20 a month. So it's not even that significant. And our plans are pretty rich, and we do give you the 3 different plans that you can select based on you know, what you want to pay for your your premium, and then what deductible you want to choose. So all that information is housed under the document library, and it shows the different rates for the health plans. And then also we have the dental plans, and you can see, as I said before, the vision has come in a little bit cheaper. And there's the rates for individual for the dental and family for the dental, and then the Davis Vision is individual and family for that. And you can see the price per paycheck and price per monthly premium. So they're inexpensive. Now, these benefits here, the dental and the vision, are voluntary benefits, and that means that the employee pays 100% of that premium. Now, the health insurance, Haas's and Marzoni's, as the employer, we pay the premium, we pay 80%, and the employee pays 20% of the health insurance premium. And all that information is housed again under the document library. Now, when you come up, and here's the vision, I put all the grids and stuff out there with regard to the different benefits. And this is a little bit of what the grids look like. And this is the new vision plan. And it just gives you a little bit, like you can call that up and see, you know, the different things that are covered, you know, in network, out of network. All of the plans that we have these grids so that you can see what the coverages would be if you stay in network versus out of network, and then what the benefit frequency is for the vision. You know, I was pretty pleased with this vision plan. I do have the current one that we have, and you know, I believe this one is going to be a good one for us. So once you come in again to do your open enrollment, and the date is a little bit, I maneuvered that date so I could show you guys. However, our open enrollment doesn't start till Friday, the 15th. And when you log in and go under the benefit tab, it'll show open enrollment has begun from, and it'll say November 15th through November 30th. And then you can hit the blue button that says start enrollment. And then you can go down and make any changes that you wish, with regard to the benefits that you have. And I have all the benefits that I can enroll in. You know, I have the health, the dental, the vision. I have the employer paid life insurance. I have the voluntary life insurance, and I have the short-term and long-term disability. Now, the employer paid life insurance, that's the life insurance that as the employer that we pay that premium. So anybody who's full-time or salaried employee, they would have this benefit, and the benefit would be their one-time salary. So if you're a person that makes $45,000, that's what the life insurance would be. It's at no cost to you. I believe last week I had Miranda, our new HR assistant, following up on some forms, because we just started with this new company last year, the Standard, and I noticed that I needed some forms. So she had followed up, because we always want to make sure that we have the most current and up-to-date beneficiary. So if something happens to our employees, that the beneficiary is the most current that we can get in contact with to let them know that that benefit, that employee had that benefit. And then you'll see the short-term and the long-term disability, that's for our salaried employees. And it's also an employer paid benefit. So you can see here a little bit about what I have currently, what I'm enrolled in. And then you can go down to the next screen, like if you want to make any changes. So once you're doing your benefit enrollment, you'll want to call it up, and you'll want to go down through, and you can see on this side, like since I'm already into these benefits, I can only either modify them or remove them. If it's a benefit that you're newly eligible for, it's going to say enroll or remove, and you'll have to hit that enroll button, and then it'll go to the next screen, and it'll ask you what plan you want to get into, and it'll show you the cost and stuff, which I'll show you here. But then again, you can see these are everything that I'm enrolled in. So the only option I have is to either remove or modify. These are the ones that don't cost me anything. So I don't really want to remove them because they're not costing me anything. If I want to modify, and modifying means if I want to update some beneficiary information, you know, I can update that. So once you go in, like say I wanted to modify my Highmark election, because right now I currently have the silver plan. So it's allowing me that during this open enrollment, this is the only time that you can switch from one level of the plan to another. You can't switch anytime throughout the year. So once you make the selection during open enrollment, you have to stay in it for a year. You can't jump into the various different plans. So at this time, I'm going to elect to stay in the silver plan because I've been happy with that and it works for me. But if you wish to change to a different plan, you can at this time. So if, I'm staying with the silver, and again, it's broken down that shows the single coverage, employee and spouse, parent-child, parent-children, and family. So it shows the different coverages. Now, I will say, if you're an employee and you want to cover your spouse, you have to have that spousal coverage form completed. If a spouse has an employer who offers them health insurance, they cannot get on our policy. If they have an employer but they don't have health insurance offered, then their employer needs to fill out that form and we need to verify that they don't have the option to get coverage. So if you're going to cover your spouse and I see that and I don't have a form on file for you from a prior time or whatever, I'm going to follow up to see, and you're going to have to get that form filled out. And the form is, of course, in the documents library. Also, you can see here, if you look at the plan and, I'm in the silver plan and I want to look at more information, you can hit on it on either more information or show documents. So it's going to show, so it's showing the grid and it'll show it bigger once you look at it. And it'll show you a little bit of a, like what the plan covers and stuff. So it'll show, like you can click on it and you can look at that and go down through and see what that is. And then the next thing is to show more information. So it just goes down into more detail. So if you click on any of these links here, it's going to go into that information and just give you a little bit of, what the benefit are, like a little, just a brief description of what these benefits offer. And then here, you're getting down to the end, and with anything, you have to go from start to finish. So once you start, you have to completely complete it, go down and sign and date, and then you sign it to be sign and submit. So you're going to electronically sign it by typing your name and then sign and submit. Now, if for some reason you're like, I'm not ready to do, and you go back out, you're going to have to start all over. So it's either you start at the beginning and end, and get it all done, like from start to finish, or you can go back and, look at it. But again, all the information is housed in green shades. And I think it's pretty easy to use and utilize. All you have to do is look at the different tabs up top because it does have a lot of information. And I think the benefit enrollment is pretty easy. And then once you sign and date it, then what happens is, so during this time frame of open enrollment from November 15th to November 30th, you made your elections and you submitted them. So what happens then is they're going to go into a space and I have to approve them. So I have that month to approve it and send all the information to Highmark and get the electronic file feed. And I do stress too, like open enrollment is usually the busiest time and the first of the year. Most companies do have their open enrollment at the end of the year with an effective date of January. So if it's a new benefit that you're enrolling in, it could take till the middle of the month so you get your insurance card. Now, if you need to use it before then, you're going to have to get in touch with me and we can see if we can get it done. But I always stress to employees to be patient because that January is always the busiest month with regard to a lot of companies are doing their open enrollment until the different companies. So you'll have if you sign up for health, dental, and vision, you're going to have the Highmark card. You're going to have a Vision Benefits America card, and then you're going to have a United Concordia card. Now, if you don't make any changes, you're not going to get any new cards because everything stayed the same except for the Vision. You will receive a new card for the Vision, but the Highmark and the dental, the policies have stayed the same. So the Vision, you'll get a new Vision card if you're switching to the new company. And then again, you can see the different items that I have already saved over for 2025. So I have the dental grid, the vision grid, which I showed you, the health insurance grid, which was that's like when I was looking at mine. The rates are out there. All the information is housed out there. So anything that you need, you can print, you can download, or you can just view. You don't have to print them all. Also, I will stress too, with any company that offers benefits, there is compliance documentation that we have to make sure that our employees are aware of. And you can see that the different notices and rights, and like the Medicare Part D credible coverage, that our prescription coverage is credible. Here's a CHIP notice for anybody that needs to know about CHIP, HIPAA, that's the confidentiality, different things, COBRA rights as an employee. So all of our compliance information is housed out there, and you can print it and keep it for your file at any time if you wish. We just want to make sure that you're aware that all the stuff is there, and all of our benefits are in compliance. And again, I got a lot of calls last year. Just want to stress that we do have the wellness program information out on the Green Shades website, and 2025 is already out there. The information of how to enroll in the program, about the points, the flyers out there. And then as I talked to you about the spousal coverage consent form, if you want to cover your spouse, we need to make sure and verify that they don't have coverage elsewhere, or that their employer doesn't offer them coverage. So if you do enroll your spouse, I will be following up with that form if that form's not received. So you can print that form and print it off if you need. And then again, there's just some more compliance information out there. There's a lot of paperwork, and I don't know if you remember years ago, we used to do a lot of copying and sending packets. But I just think it's so much easier that everything is out here. It's accessible. It's easily accessible. At any time you can look at it. And at any time, if you're having any issues with Green Shades, you can contact me. I can help you with it. But it is a pretty easy system to work. And just letting you know, all the information is out there. And here's the verification of spouse coverage that I had talked about that would need to be filled if you want to, or completed if you want to cover your spouse. Just let you know, again, where the wellness stuff is found, it's found there. All the information pertaining to any benefit, the life insurance, all the certificates are out there. Anything that you would think that you would need to print off and keep for your files, if it's a benefit that you're eligible for or you're enrolled in, you can always download and print the information for yourself. And there again is just a little bit more about the wellness program. So everything is housed out there and everything is saved there. So you should be able to, find it. So that was a pretty quick overview of open enrollment and, what goes into Green Shades and everything. So if anybody has any questions, you can either put them in the chat or you can give me a call later, because we're going to get started with Delaney's portion of the Zoom meeting.
All right. First of all, before we get started, I just wanted to thank everybody again for the participation in the survey. Really appreciate those who filled it out themselves and also who encouraged their staff to do the same. The meaning behind the survey, again, is to just make sure that we are constantly improving, that we are providing the best workplace for our people. So all of the information we gathered was extremely helpful. And again, we're very appreciative of the effort that went into this. So Brenda, would you mind going to the next slide?
Nope, not at all. You tell me when, okay?
Thank you. So when creating this survey, we were going off of criteria from the strategic plan that we have set in place. The major focuses are opportunity for growth, the work environment and the relationships that people are making within the restaurants, inclusion, training, appreciation, fairness and consistency, as well as feedback. So we gathered information based on the location, gender, age, position, just to try to gather that information and be able to analyze it based on different demographics, different groups, all of that fun stuff. Next slide, please. So overall, we received, and I apologize if you can't see it very clearly, but we received 446 total responses. So that's roughly 30% of the company, which, you know, it's a really good start. We do want to continue surveying in the future, but, you know, a good turnout. So we're very appreciative of that. Gender-wise, we did have the majority female fill out the form. We coincidentally do have the majority of females working for the company, so that didn't come as a huge surprise. So 64% were female, 30% were male, and then 4% chose not to answer. The two main age groups that filled out the survey were under 18 and ages 25 to 34. So that both of those took up roughly 30% of the responses. But again, we did have participation from all age groups, which we appreciate. And the server position was the top response for position. And again, I'm not sure how well you can see information going down, but I also don't want to read to you for the next 9 minutes. So we can continue, Brenda, if that's okay. Perfect. So for those of you who filled out this survey, you know that the first question or ranking was, I feel there's an opportunity to grow at Haas's at Marzoni's. 87% of our employees do believe there's an opportunity to grow, which is a great number. I'm sure that this is credited to the different opportunities that you've all given your staff, whether that be CDTs, open to close. I know that some of you are internal managers, and there's always just that opportunity that I'm sure that our employees have picked up on. So that's a really strong number and something that you should all be really proud of. The second was, I work in a positive environment and have good relationships with coworkers and management. It's another 87.9% of our employees believe that to be true. You know, we really pride ourselves on creating kind of that family environment, wanting everybody to be close, making things fun, and really as managers, getting to know your employees on more of a personal level. Of course, coming from HR, we need to draw the line there, but it's always good to treat them as real people and not just, oh, I am the manager in charge and you have to listen to me. It means a lot to those employees to be able to have those relationships, and especially with the amount of hours that a lot of people put in. You don't want to be miserable at your place of work with how much time you're there. So another great percentage on that. I feel welcomed and safe at Haas's Marzoni's. This is our highest percentage at 93.7%. And I mean, this is just so encouraging to see. We originally based this criteria off of the diversity and inclusion goal that we have within the company. But just in general, to have employees feel like they're in a good environment and that they're safe where they work, that's just a great category to have such a high percentage in. So again, well done to all of you as managers for being able to create that environment. 88.6% of our employees believe they had thorough training and the length of time was sufficient. Again, another really high percentage at 88.6. I think it's really important, again, as managers, to make sure that you're choosing the best trainers that you can, people that understand the Haas and Marzoni's mission, to make sure that we are spending thorough time and understanding that people learn different ways. Maybe it's more of the hands-on as opposed to anything. And I know that there's patience that goes into that as well. So this is another really reassuring piece of feedback that we see at this 88.6% for the training. So well done. 75.9% of employees feel appreciated for their work. This section is a little bit lower compared to the others, but it's still not a bad percent. Reading through the comments and different pieces of feedback that I collected, I really found that the little things can make all of the difference for people. Whenever there was the section where it said, what do your managers do to make you feel appreciated? A lot of them were just, my manager says hi to me when I walk into my shift. And if it's something that small, I think it could be agreed upon that everybody can make that effort just to make our employees feel seen. There, of course, are other examples, and I have some of you cook food for your employees. We have our holiday gatherings. So those are some extra things, which again, sometimes require more time and money. But those little things of just making our employees feel like people and feel like they matter being there, that was a lot of the responses for this section. So again, even though it's a little bit lower than the rest, and we are always looking to improve, it's still a solid number at 75.9%. 62.3% of our employees believe that everyone is treated fairly and decisions are firm and consistent. So with this section, this is our lowest percentage. And again, it's not terrible. However, there was a lot of feedback on it. As managers, we do need to kind of remember that we want to have good relationships with our employees. Some of you that maybe started as staff and worked into the management position, you might still have friendships with people that you had worked in more of a co-worker colleague type of setting previously. But I think something important to remember is that you shouldn't be playing favorites when it comes to people. The consistency is a huge one, especially when it comes to disciplining. If you're going to write somebody up for being 10 minutes late for their shift, which of course you should do, you need to make sure you're doing that for everyone that is 10 minutes late for their shift. We really want employees to feel like there's consistency across the board, that everyone is on the same playing field. We don't want any favoritism. So this is definitely something that I think as a whole we want to work toward moving forward. But 62.3%, again, it's nothing to necessarily be ashamed of. It's just a focus point that we can look at moving down the line. 86.6% of employees believe they receive thorough feedback from management. Again, another higher percent for this category. And hopefully the bombardment, I would say, that I put on you to fill out your surveys and make sure that they're completed thoroughly and actually including concrete information and all of that fun stuff. Hopefully that makes a difference with this. I always like to say, just based on statistics, not any personal biases or anything, but the younger generation does thrive on feedback. Even if it's negative, at least they are being acknowledged. So never be afraid to give feedback because you think it's going to upset people. If somebody's looking to be upset, then they're going to find a way to do so. But even that constructive criticism goes a long way for some people, just to see that you're invested in them and you want them to continue to improve in their role. And then based on the scale of 1 to 10 of if people would recommend Haas's or Marzoni's to family and friends as a profession, I used the rankings from 6 to 10 as kind of a positive, yes, I would recommend, and that came out at 71.9%. So that's a really strong number as well. Recommendations are basically free advertising, free recruiting for us. So if our employees are happy with the place that they work and they relay that to friends and family, then we don't have to potentially sponsor as much on Indeed or use other tactics to be able to obtain people. We can actually have people coming to us based on experience. So in conclusion, we had really good results. I was really happy with everything that came in. I hope you guys are proud of yourselves for the way that you're running your stores and that we were able to obtain such high numbers for these different categories. Again, the main purpose of this survey is so we can continue to improve. So we are going to work to use this feedback to continue to make Haas's and Marzoni's the best place we can to work. So thank you all so much again for the effort that you put in. And I'm very proud of everyone for the way that they are running their stores. So thank you. All right, I think that's all right at 2:30. So if anyone has any questions for Brenda or I on the survey or on open enrollment, please reach out to us. But other than that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.